Did you know that one of the sweetest foods in the world is also responsible for some of the darkest chapters in human history? It built empires, it toppled kingdoms, it fueled wars, revolutions, and fortunes. And behind its sweetness lies a trail of blood, suffering, and stolen lives. This is the real story of sugar, the food that changed the world and destroyed millions in the process. And it all begins long before sugar became an everyday ingredient, back when it was more precious than gold. Centuries ago, sugar was rare, a treat only kings could afford, a luxury displayed on royal tables to show off wealth and power. In medieval Europe, nobles carved entire sculptures out of sugar, swans, castles, crowns, just to prove they had enough money to waste it. People didn't sprinkle sugar on desserts. Sugar was the dessert. But everything changed when European empires realized something. This sweet crystal could make them unimaginably rich. All they needed was land, and labor, lots of labor. So in the 1600s and 1700s, European powers, Britain, France, Portugal, Spain, the Netherlands, raced across the Atlantic, seizing islands in the Caribbean. These islands were perfect for growing sugarcane, but sugarcane was brutal. It demanded constant cutting, grinding, boiling, backbreaking work in suffocating heat. Europe needed workers, and instead of hiring them, they stole them. The rise of sugar plantations created one of the largest human trafficking systems in history, the Atlantic slave trade. Millions of African men, women, and children were captured, sold, and forced onto ships. Many never reached land, dying from disease, starvation, or violence during the journey. Those who survived faced something even worse. Plantations in the Caribbean were described as factories of death. People worked 18-hour days under burning sun, cutting razor-sharp stalks. Sugar mills crushed arms and legs. Boiling houses were hellish rooms filled with steam so hot it peeled skin. Punishments were cruel: whippings, chains, starvation. The average enslaved worker on a Caribbean sugar plantation lived just 7 years. 7. Meanwhile, European elites were decorating their tables with crystal bowls of sugar, dipping fruit into it, stirring it into tea, baking cakes so sweet they would rot modern teeth. The sweetness in Europe was paid for with suffering in the Caribbean. And sugar didn't just make money, it became the engine of an empire. Great Britain, especially, built enormous wealth from sugar. The profits funded banks, universities, mansions, navy fleets, and even the Industrial Revolution. Cities like London, Bristol, and Liverpool became rich because of sugar's blood-soaked economy. But the story gets darker. Because sugar didn't just shape economies, it shaped diets, addictions, and entire cultures. When sugar became cheap, people started using it constantly. Tea with sugar, bread with sugar, preserves, biscuits, candy chocolate sweetened for the first time. So many people bought sugar that merchants called it white gold. And as demand skyrocketed, so did the violence. More plantations, more ships, more human lives taken from Africa, more suffering hidden behind every spoonful, and sugar's influence stretched even further. It transformed food, it reshaped agriculture, it fueled wars between European empires fighting over Caribbean islands. Entire battles were fought over tiny islands just because they grew sugar. To European monarchies, sugar was more valuable than land in Europe itself. But something else began brewing: resentment. The people forced to grow and process sugar were also the ones who would eventually rise up. In 1791, on the island of Saint-Domingue, today known as Haiti, enslaved people launched a massive revolt. It became the only successful slave uprising in history, leading to the first black republic in the world. Their fight began on sugar plantations. And when the revolution ended, France lost its richest colony, a blow from which its sugar empire never fully recovered. Sugar didn't just build empires, it also destroyed them. But the pain didn't end. When slavery was eventually abolished, sugar barons found new systems of exploitation. Indentured workers from India and China were shipped to plantations under false promises. Families were separated. Conditions remained harsh. The suffering continued. Meanwhile, Europeans were eating more sugar than ever. Tea sweetened, cakes fluffy, pastries golden, chocolate creamy. Ice cream invented. Sugar shaped everything, and soon, it shaped health. Doctors began noticing new diseases: tooth decay, obesity, diabetes. Conditions once rare became common. Sugar became something people needed, not for survival, but for pleasure, comfort, addiction. Companies learned this quickly. By the 20th century, sugar was everywhere, in drinks, snacks, sauces, bread, cereal, even foods advertised as healthy. Industries funded scientists to say sugar was harmless, shifting blame onto other ingredients. Governments lowered tariffs. Companies lobbied for sugar to stay cheap. And why? Because sugar doesn't just sweeten food, it keeps people coming back. Empires rose on sugar. Fortunes were built. Wars were fought. Millions suffered, and the world was changed forever. Think about it. A spoonful of sugar in your tea has a 400-year history behind it. A history of ships crossing oceans, of chains hitting flesh, of empires rising on the backs of suffering. A candy bar carries the story of plantations, revolutions, and global trade. The sweetness we take for granted today was once soaked in blood. And even now, sugar continues to reshape our world through health crises, corporate power, and global consumption. It remains one of the most profitable industries in history, but its past is one of the darkest. A simple crystal, a sweet taste, a global addiction, and a legacy written in suffering. This was the food that built empires and destroyed millions. A reminder that behind even the sweetest things, there can be a brutal story.